man. All right. Having some technical difficulties. Waiting for some folks to get on. Probably don't know where I'm at. In the meantime, I could just tell you what I want to do. All right. Yo, Daniel. We're on. We're live. All right. So, I want to jump on here and talk about this New Year's resolution that people are trying to start. Everybody this time of year wants to jump on the New Year's resolution wagon. And I'm here to encourage you and help you figure out how you're going to do it and what is good. Audio's good. Thank you. And help you get through this, because the fad diets that I see people working on and trying to implement is the road to failure. Sorry to fill you in. And I'm talking Mr. Fast. All I want to do is fast all day. You got to eat something. Fast usually end up in binge eating. That's how that diet usually ends. Some people can do it. Some people can't. What I'm trying to help you guys do is start a nutrition plan. Tell me about the butter coffee fasting. Oh, that's a good trick. See, okay, so get up in the morning. What I do, I learned this from Mark Moss. Get up in the morning, and for my body size, I'm about 215. It's about a tablespoon and a half of butter. Plop that off in your coffee and whip it in with a milk frother and enjoy that for breakfast. Okay? 3 hours later, do it again. You won't be hungry, and it's like the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. It tastes so good. But that kind of gets your body running on fat right in the morning. It gives your brain the fats it needs, gives you the caffeine. I'm at my sharpest when I do butter coffee in the morning. And it really does help. It's not really a fast, though, because you're consuming butter, So, but it is a way to start the keto. It's kind of a keto kickoff. The butter coffee and the keto thing is a tool that you implement as you need it. So that's a great way to start your New Year's resolution. But just know you're going to want to eat carbs, or I do. I enjoy carbs. I enjoy sugar. I eat that stuff. But just know that it's all part of the nutrition plan thing, lifestyle that you're going to have to start doing eventually. Because you're going to have to get up in the morning. A little regimen really helps. And that's what I want to start doing on these live streams. Because, man, I'm a welder. And I've got several other businesses. But I started my fitness journey welding every day. And I was able to implement these things. Add collagen to coffee. That's a good trick, too. I started implementing these diets and workout regimen. And I started to lose the fat that I didn't want to lose. I was really going downhill fast. Something happens when you're about 30, 32. When I was 32, I started going downhill fast. Probably because I'm starting to weld school. All right, somebody's starting weld school, opening a career. Anyway, I was going downhill fast. This video is about nutrition. And I corrected my diet, and I got back on top. I was able to fix it before it got too out of whack. And you guys that are out of whack, things are starting to your joints are hurting, your back's hurting, your shoulders, if you don't use those muscles and tendons and ligaments, that stuff starts to crater, and it happens fast. If you don't use them, you lose them. If you've got a movement, if you can't reach out and pick something up, it hurts your shoulder. If you don't work through that and get those muscles adapted to whatever you're doing, you will lose that. You won't be able to do it anymore. And then when you go to move a couch or something, and you have to, or to pick up a battery, a lot of people hurt themselves by picking up batteries out out of cars, they'll tear the rotator cuff. And you think, well, that's simple. It is, because they don't use those muscles anymore. Do you ever fall back into bad eating habits? Absolutely. Man, when I start eating bad, it makes me want to eat worse, more bad. It's a positive feedback system. When you start eating processed carbs and sugar, it immediately triggers something that makes you want to eat more processed carbs and sugar. Like salt, for instance. Salt is a negative feedback system. When you eat salt, you eat so much salt, you say, oh, I don't want anything else salty. You've hit that mark. It's a negative feedback system. Sugar's not like that. Sugar, your body wants to be fat. Everybody wants this much fat. Your body wants this much fat all over it. It's just the way it is. And the people that are making our food are structuring that stuff to hit every nerve, every feel good in your mouth. It triggers that, and it's like, oh, it's so good. And you get used to eating these hyper palatable foods. And it's just it's a cascade. It's a snowball, and you want more and more and more. That's the hardest part about it. You've got to cut that off, and it's a little bit. It's hard, but it's just retraining your palate pretty much. Because if you'll do it for 2 weeks, you'll start to. The regular food will start to taste good. Real food, whole ingredient foods. That stuff will start to be, you'll start to look forward to it. And the minute you start eating, howdy, man. The minute you start eating bad, all that stuff's going to come right back, because it's an addiction. It absolutely is an addiction. Ice cream was my hang up. I could eat ice cream. I could sit down. I was eating a half gallon every day or two. It was ridiculous. I was eating ice cream all the time. I was addicted to it. I couldn't walk past the freezer without eating ice cream. And my gut was showing it. If y'all have seen my before and after pictures, that was me on ice cream. And burgers and convenience. It was all convenience. So this live stream is the start of helping as many people, buttered pecan. That was it. Ooh. That get that out of the house, man. That stuff it's so good. That was mine. That was my hang up. What are your thoughts on cheat days? Oh, that's a good one. I love cheat meals. Don't confuse a cheat meal with a cheat day. It's easy to do because it sends all those triggers off and you want to keep going. And it's really necessary to just use it as a cheat meal. So go ahead and program yourself that you get one cheat meal a week, and you can blow it out. A lot of people say don't, be careful. I'm telling you, when I go to a cheat meal, it's pancakes, waffles, grits. It's usually breakfast, and then I work out afterwards. Sweet potato pie doesn't count. I just ate a half a sweet potato pie for Christmas. I did. I sat down and ate a half sweet potato pie and a pile of ice cream. And I want to do it right now, but I'm not. I'm not going to do that. It's you just have to shut those things off. That's a lot of times a cheat meal will send somebody over the edge. Actually, it reintroduces all that stuff, and then they can't stop. But if you could stick with it just for 2 weeks, that's the main thing. Just stick with it just long enough to just gut it out for 2 weeks, and you're going to see a little change. Because, and I say stick with it, you don't even know what. Stick with what? Let me give you some pointers real quick before I get too off track. We've got to learn what we can put in our body. You got to learn what your body runs on. What do you like? And you have to mesh that with calories in and calories out. Because you can be the healthiest. You can eat avocados and healthy foods all day long, and you eat too much of it, it will make you fat. That's why it's important to log your food. I'm sorry, a lot of people are not going to do that. They're going to say, "Nope, I'm not going to log my food right now. I'm just not going to do it." Well, you have to measure. If you don't measure what you're putting in your body, you don't know. You just won't know. And I mean measure in grams. I don't mean a cup. Because if you scoop up a cup, you can mound. I've lived it, man. I know. I can cheat. You can pile it up on there. You have to do, measure it right. I recommend measuring everything in grams, and then you'll know where you're at. I recommend LifeSum app. If you get there's an app you can get on your phone. It's called LifeSum. It will help you calculate your calories, and it's a pain in the butt. Don't get me wrong, it really is. But in order to do this New Year's resolution thing, it's so important to know what you're putting in your body. Hey, Chris, butter has a ton of calories. It absolutely does. That's why that's a hack that you use in certain times of your nutrition plan. You can do. It doesn't matter how many calories you eat at one time as long as you don't overeat in the daytime through the day. So you can have butter, coffee in the morning, but just know you're going to have to eat less calories in the evening. But if you'll put your food in a calculator like I'm telling you, you'll know that thing will start hitting home. Now, if you want to start off on keto because it really does rip fat off, that's great. It's just not a lifestyle for me. I know what I have to do to get ripped, and I'm going to start now. I mean, this is me. I got some meat on me through Christmas, Thanksgiving. I didn't, no holds barred. I ate whatever I wanted to. I still worked out. That's the main thing. You got to get that motor going. You get those muscles going. That's what consumes the fuel that you eat is muscle. So it's like 1 pound of muscle burns 10 calories. So, gain 10 pounds of muscle, that's 100 extra calories you can eat. And when you stimulate these muscles, you'll continue to burn calories, through the day. Unlike cardio. Cardio, you get to burn it and you stop cardio and that's it. When you do deadlifts and heavy lifts, you'll be able to burn calories for 8 hours. And a lot of women out there are thinking, I don't want to be bulky. Women like to jump around. They like to Zumba. You chicks need to wake up and lift some weights. You're not going to get bulky. I'm serious. It's not going to happen. A woman has to work so hard to get bulky. It's ridiculous. Lift heavy weights, eat good food. That's the moral of the story. And I'm going to help y'all do it. I'm going to take you to the grocery store with me. I've already got a ton of cooking videos up that you're welcome to watch anytime you want. A lot of those have grocery list with them. And these are small little things, tips and tricks you can implement along along the way. And when you get to your desired weight, and you will, if you do what I'm asking you to do, you will get there. And when you get there, hang out there. Just kind of figure out what you can eat. I mean, you'll eat something, you put it in your calculator, it's kind of not right, you'll figure it out. I'm a hard gainer when it comes to muscle, but easy. You don't focus on lifting up cardio. Hard gainers, you have to eat. You do. Okay. If you're a hard gainer, it means you're probably not fat. So you just lift weights and eat the right amount of protein. 1 gram per pound of body weight. That's what you need to do. Period. Just keep lifting weights. You're probably a young man. I had a hard time gaining muscle until I was over 20, really 25. I didn't start gaining muscle until I was 25. But I'm going to start doing these live streams and answering everybody's questions. Leave your questions in the comments. I will answer every one of them. And if y'all are if y'all are following me and you really want to make a transformation, a body transformation, I'll help you any way I can because it really did lift me up. It helped me tremendously. And I'm so glad I did it. It's like one of the most cardio and then weights. I don't want to go carrying on posers. I don't do cardio, buddy. I save cardio for summertime. Period. You need to implement one thing at a time, and that's lift weights and food. Well, that's two things. Food should be a part of it. That's the first step. But if you do it all at one time, if you're going to start this this crazy, that's what happens. New Year's happens. When the New Year's happens, it's like, okay, I'm going to fast, I'm going to run, I'm going to jump on a trampoline, and I'm going to do all these things. You don't need to do none of that. All you have to do is go buy some good food, go to my cooking videos, and I'm going to talk about them on here, and also start lifting some weights. And if you don't want to lift weights or you can't lift weights, start doing some air squats and push-ups. That'll get you so far. I really want to encourage you to Sweet, see you in the summer cardio. Yeah, I don't like cardio very much. When I do cardio, it's for like chopping wood and things like that. It's not. I really hate running in place. It seems like such a waste of time. I just would rather clean my shop or pick up sticks in the yard or some other kind of cardio. Don't forget sleep. That's very true. Sleep is such a big deal. But don't get overwhelmed with these things. There's so many things that you don't do. Do you prefer weights over body weight? Absolutely. Absolutely. When you lift, here's the most important exercise that I know of. Heavy weights, low reps. Okay. I'm going to cover that right now. Deadlifts. When you pick heavy weight up off the ground, it stimulates your central nervous system to build bone density, muscle mass, and tendon strength. So you've got to have all those things to get old. So when you pick up something heavy off the ground, you're stimulating all that stuff, and your body says, I got to do something. Burn the fat, build the muscle. It really goes to work. And it helps everybody. And I mean people all the way up to 90 years old. There's a guy, a channel called Gray Steel. He's got people lifting 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90-year-old people doing deadlifts, squats, bench press, all the stuff that works. This is the real fitness. This is the real way to get in shape. It's not shakes from your doctor. It's not weight loss pills. It's not any of that crap. It's picking heavy weights up. And you can do it other ways. You can run yourself to death if you want to. But that's what I'm trying to get across this before New Year's gets here, because when New Year's gets here, it's on. But that's what I want to push, because this is not a quick fix. This isn't lose 20 pounds in 20 days. This is an absolute lifestyle that's not that hard to do if you'll stick with it. Now, you're not going to be able to diet for 3 months and it's all over. It's like people get on these weird diets, and they're yo-yo diets. When you do a yo-yo diet, when to eat bread first time every day? When to eat bread first time every day? I don't know what that means. Bread makes me fat. I still eat it, but I put it in my calculator. See where I'm going with this? I'm not here to tell you what to eat and what not to eat. I'm here to explain to you how you know what you can eat. You got to measure it. Put it in your calculator, and then at the end of the day, when you sit down in your chair, because that's what I do. I'd come in from work, I'd sit down in my chair, and I'd think I'd had so many calories this, and I wouldn't know. I'd be like, man, I think I've eaten too much. Maybe I could. My hunger would take over. Like, I can eat more. But when you got it in there, numbers don't lie. And when you run out of calories and it's 7:30 at night, we've all been there. I used to finish it off with a big bowl of ice cream. But now I know I can get every vegetable that I've ever liked and spray. They got an Evo oil sprayer. Psh, not that oil's good for you, but, we're talking about losing fat. Let's just stay there. Spray a couple teaspoons of oil on it, bake it, pull it out, put salt on it, and eat it till your stomach's just distended, till you're so full. Because I hate going to bed hungry. It's awful. Going to bed hungry is miserable. So that's the way I cheat my way at night. High reps, low weights. Okay. 8 to 12 reps is what I like to do. Now, it depends on what your goals are, though. And that's such a broad question. When I do deadlifts heavy, I try to stick around 5 reps. I try not to do single reps of anything unless it's some kind of strange occasion. 13 is usually a good sweet spot. That's kind of the max for hypertrophy. But yeah, 8 to 12. 8 to 12 reps. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I would really appreciate it. So what else? Is there any encouragement, anything I can do to get y'all on? Because I really want to see some people succeed this New Year's, because I see a lot of people in the gym New Year's. There's going to be so many people in there. I used to work at a gym, Mojo's Fitness in El Dorado, Arkansas, and we would have so many people show up for New Year's, and nobody would stay. I say nobody. There would be one every now and then, but it's just a It's something you should start and not expect to be in shape in 2 or 3 months. Because you morbidly obese guys, I'm going to call it like I see it because I know it's the truth. Don't expect to be in shape this summer. It took me 14 months to get in shape. I mean, this is a long, drawn-out thing. But the good news is when you arrive at your desired weight, or whatever you want to look like, when you get there and you stand in the mirror and I like where I'm at. Try to stay there. Your body will adapt. That'll be your new body if you can just stay there. But if you do this crazy stuff and just diet and take pills and do all this stuff to get there, you can't do that. That's not sustainable. So however you get there is how you have to stay. That's probably the most important lesson I've learned is however you diet and end up is how you have to stay. That's why I'm saying do weights first. See how far you can get with weights. And you can only get so far. And summertime gets here and you want to see your abs or whatever it is you want to do. That's when you can implement walking. Now, I'm serious, fast walking. And then you can do fast walking for 30 minutes instead of 20. It's little things. And if you're really crazy, you can do some kind of diet pill if you want to for a week or two. It won't hurt you. I don't really recommend that because it's just not cool. Just do you, whatever that is. And this you can hold on to and maintain and walk around being somewhat fit all year. And then when summer gets here, you can implement these that's all I do. And I've done it for 5 years in a row. And I think I pretty much got it pinned down. And I eat just about whatever I want. But when summer gets here, I rein the diet. The diet. I really hate diet. Nutrition. I rein my nutrition back 200 calories. So if I'm eating 3,500 or 4,000, I'll go to 32, maybe 3,000. I'll stay there for about 2 weeks and just hang out. You'll lose 1 pound to 2 pounds a week. That's all you want. Any more than that's too much. So if you can hang out there, and then when you stop losing weight, cut it 200, 300 more calories. Just a little bit at a time. You're just a little bit. Because if you go from this many calories to this, that's what people do when New Year's gets here. That's what they do. They go from whatever they're eating to this. Your body adapts in 2 weeks. It's way smarter than you are. It'll say, I'm not going to die. I'm going to hang on to this fat, and it will correct your metabolism, and you will not lose any more weight. And then you will burn out because you're doing all this diet and running and pills and all this stuff that you don't want to do anyway. And then you're going to start eating bad like everybody else does on a bad metabolism. So now your metabolism's here, and then your diet's here. It creates... How do you overcome urges to eat bad? Man, that's a good one. Any advice to stay the course and not fall off the wagon? Okay. How do you overcome urges to eat bad? I do everything I can think of. It really is like when it gets really bad, because you're going to have these cravings as this thing rocks on, you're going to have these like you're miserable almost. I would jump to vegetables. Fill your stomach up with low-calorie foods. That's like the best information I can give. So if you really want something sweet, eat a bag of strawberries. Eat a bag of apples. Eat that sweet thing, but try to stay away from those hyper, crazy palatable foods that are so calorie dense, like butters. Any kind of butters. And here I am telling you what not to eat, and I do drink the butter coffee. But you have to log it. But when you run out of calories and you know you're out of calories and you're still hungry, that's when the urges kick in. If you're full, you're not going to have those urges. But if you're needing to eat something, like I said before, I would cook me a humongous pile of vegetables and eat those. Fill your stomach up. That will get you by. That'll, until the next day. And then you can, it's like dropping a marble in a can. That's the kind of way I picture it. The next day, the morning or the night you go to bed, you can either drop a marble in or you can take a marble out. And that happens in the evening time. And a lot of people fast. They do this intermittent fasting thing, and that's a really good hack too. It's not a lifestyle for me because I like breakfast. But it leaves you calories for the evening. It's a little bit easier to fast and then shorten your eating window. If you can maintain that. You can do that. But as far as overcoming those urges, you're going to have to look at my cooking videos. That's a massive question. I used to, I would have some dark chocolate laying around and I'd eat me one and I'd put it in my calculator and then I would chew up another one and spit it in the trash can. I've done everything you can think of, man, because I understand. I'm a hungry person. I'm a foodie. I love food. And it's like the most fun I can have with my clothes on. I really like food. Like I said, I ate a half a sweet potato pie at Christmas yesterday. You know, but if you're doing this thing, you can get away with a lot. You can get away with so much. If you're eating for purpose, don't listen to that little voice inside of you that wants you to eat bad stuff. You know, yeah, you want a cookie. So what? I'm not giving you a cookie. You get to eat vegetables. And then the craving will go away. You'll get into the movie you're watching or whatever, and it'll pass. But you've got to stand up to it, or you're going to be a slave to it the rest of your life. It's really hard to get over. On-site Trav, he's doing it with me. He's crushing it, actually. He started his lifting. He's doing his diet. It's amazing what he figured out. When you start logging what you're eating, you really start to notice how old are you and how many hours a day, a week do you work. Thanks. When I started this journey, I was working 50 hours a week, and I was driving an hour to an hour and a half one way. This diet starts the day before. You have to cook your food and pack it the night before, because I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning and go to work. And I welded all day in the hot sun. I didn't have it easy. That's the truth. And I was still able to get in the best shape of my life working 50 hours a week, driving an hour and a half a day, one way. So 3 hours a day. Sometimes an hour. I don't want to lie. But it is part of it. But there is a caveat there, because it's hard to get to the gym. That's why I built my workout equipment, the gym rat. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but I built the squat rack that does everything, and all you need to do is that. I'm serious. It's these normal movements that we've got to do for the rest of our life. You've got to bend down and pick stuff up off the floor. You're going to have to push stuff over your head. These are the movements that you need to be doing anyway. And most of the time, nowadays, you go to work and you just sit there and you peck on a computer, and, you know, a lot of people do. And then you go home, and when you do that all day, you don't really want to do anything because you've been doing that all day. Truck drivers, I got a truck driver, Kenneth. He's doing good. When you sit in a truck all day, it is so hard to get up and work out. It's hard to get out of that welding truck with wet underwear on because you've been sweating all day and go work out. It's just hard, but it's so rewarding. It will be the most rewarding thing you can do for your body. You will not regret it. Nobody ever said, I regret that workout. But I know a lot of people are about to make this commitment to do this New Year's resolution thing. Someone asked, what do you think about compound lifting? That's the main thing. Compound lifts are the main thing. And what is a compound lift, you might ask? It's when a bench press is a compound lift. When you push something, like from a bench press position, your chest engages first and you're using your triceps and your shoulders and everything. A compound lift would not be curls, where you're just doing your arms. A better compound lift would be a deadlift, where you're using your whole body, or a squat, or something that engages your whole system. Those are the lifts that you absolutely have to hit. And if you're not able or capable or don't want to lift, squats, air squats, body weight squats, you can do a lot like that. You have to do more of them. That's why it's so much easier to use weight. It's just faster. You can do 8 reps and you're done, or 10. If you do air squats, you do like 100 of them. But if you're just getting started, that's great. The main thing is get started. Because I'm telling you guys, when you're 15, 20, 25, 30, something happens at about 30. Your metabolism slows down, you start to come down. And if you don't correct it, when you're 40 and 50 years old, you really got to get back up here. Because if you don't, you come down here and you just kind of eke through life with diabetes, and you just kind of do the bare minimum and just die. What you want to do is get all the way through life feeling as good as possible and then die. Now, you got to die either way. Every man gets to do it once. I just had a comment. I don't know how to get them up. But, guys, I hope this helps somebody. I know it will. If you're going to do it or you want to do it or if you have any desire to do it, leave any question you have in the comments. I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. And I'll do these live streams once a week and cover everything I possibly can. I hope y'all have an awesome day. There's one more question. Been doing compound lifting and feel a huge difference in my strength. Woo! I love it. That's what everybody's going to see. If you'll start doing these compound lifts, you're going to notice a tremendous difference. I'm telling you, when your bone structure feels heavy weight on it, something happens. Your central nervous system fires up and it says everything's got to grow. Take it from fat. Take it from the fat storage. That's the best way to use the fuel we're eating. Our food is fuel, and you have to use the fuel. If you don't use the fuel, it will go to storage. It's God's gift to man. Because if we didn't have a storage tank, every time you would need fuel, you'd just die. If you ate your last meal and you got hungry and you didn't find something right then, you just kill off. No, it switches to fat. So that's the point. Eat. You're going to get hungry. We're going to eat every 3 hours. You're going to get hungry. Wait. My phone's going dead. Blessing upon blessing to you and your wife. Thank you so much. We really like our subscribers. Y'all are the best people on the face of the earth. I really appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate everybody that hit the like button. This is like my first live stream. I screwed up at the first two. So I'm going to let y'all go. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.